Good day, good day, good day. This is Mr. Anderson. I found a song, and I'm gonna give a shout out to this. When life done testing a man, that song, it's like my anthem right now. And I've listened to it a few times, and it just has a lot of feelings or things that have happened that I feel that's happening to me. And it makes me think, we all go through tests in life. Simple, some easier, some harder. And it seemed like the people, and I remember this through sports, playing sports, the coaches always got on to the best athletes. The better the athlete, the coach got on them a lot more because they expected so much more out of that person. They expected so much more because they seen it. They seen it in that person, and that person didn't see it. And that's kind of how, I grew up. I always was the one, but I didn't know what it was back then. I didn't know. I just thought it was they're picking on me. But I was always the one being called out for something. And, years later, well, thousands of years later, and I met a few of the younger guys out, and they were like, man, seeing the coach get on to you and you taking it and you're improving made me push myself harder, because I seen you were dedicated to the team. You're dedicated to what you were doing. You correct whatever it is you were doing, and you came out 10 times better. And that really, I didn't think about it like that. I just thought I was just getting picked on because I knew I was good, but I just messed up on something. So that was a test. I was constantly getting tested. And we do that in life, man, through all the things that we got going on in our lives. It's all test. And then the song said something about you either fold with the test or it makes you stronger. And then you're going to get another test. And the same thing is going to happen. And what the end result is been through so much pain. And I was talking to a few friends of mine, and I was saying, they were asking me about some stuff, and I was like, you numb. Because after so long, you get so numb to stuff, it doesn't affect you as much because all your tests you've been through. You're still there, you're still there, yet you look at how it, and for me, that's what I do. I look at how does it really affect me? And I know it's not going to affect me in a certain way. It don't bother me or whatever, because I've been through so much and going through so much. Like now, so much stuff is going on financially and with my job and my children. It's like, man, I'm just numb to it. And I just stuck. And he said, I'm a ball of scars. I'm a ball of healing scars. I can't think how he said that, but it was deep. It was deep. You just come out. You come out of it with energy, and you think of things. You look at life differently, and that's one thing I'm tired of people talking. Like, don't talk, just talk. I get more from your energy. I get more from your effort. I get more from what you do with it. So talk don't do nothing. And that's why I tell my son and I tell my friends, like, man, it ain't up to me. It ain't about, so you can tell somebody you love them every day, but and your actions don't show it. Your energy don't show it. You don't love me. You don't care because your actions are not showing it. But then the flip side of that, if I'm seeing that, or if I'm feeling that your actions are not matching your words, then guess what's going to happen to me? For me, I'm just going to pull back. I'm going to pull back, and I'm going to put my head down, and I'm going to continue doing what I need to do and focus on what it is that I need to do. And that's what the song was saying as well. It was like, man, you really got to, regardless of what test is going through, what we're dealing with inside, we still, as a man, have to get up and provide and push. And I know this ain't every man, but there are men out there that want that. That want the best for themselves, and men and women want the best for themselves and want the best for the people around them. But first of all, you got to know what's best for you. If you're getting tested and you're not taking advantage of the test or learning from the test, you're not ready for whatever it is that's coming to you. And that's the problem with a lot of people that I see or out here. They don't know, because they don't know themselves. And that's why I talk about SI, self-intelligence. You have to know yourself. You got to figure it out. You got to go through those tests. And you're going to constantly be tested, because especially where this world is going, you're going to constantly be tested. You see prices of everything going up. People are losing jobs. People are passing away. Family members are getting sick. So much stuff is going on. So much stuff is going on in life that, you got to stay strong. You got to keep pushing. You got to try and learn from those tests. Learn, evaluate, take the moment to get from distractions and learn from that. Learn from those tests. And yes, sometimes it's hard. It really gets hard and frustrating. It's like, man, it's something else. Every day is something else. Every day is something new. Here we go again. Yeah. That thought comes in my mind, but then I don't let it run or ruin the lesson or affect the rest of the test. Just say, I have my moment, now what am I gonna do? Then that's when I get in a sports mode. I'm like, okay, let me adjust. Let me audible out of this. Let me figure this out. Let me find a way. And sometimes sitting still is the best way. Let me sit still for a minute. A lot of times God, universe, whatever you believe, brings the answer, most all the time, puts the answer to the problem right there, a solution right there in front of you. Sometimes people just don't, they're so distracted and so not really willing and wanting to change that they just go through the motions. And you miss out on your blessing, or you miss out on that situation, or you miss out. And I had a dream that I got a phone call, and in that dream that person was with someone, or wasn't with someone, but they were together, but they weren't together. And I got a call that person was being abusive to them. And I was just like, okay, what are you gonna do? And they were saying they didn't know, but they were wanting me to be the savior and put myself in a situation that I can harm myself. It's like, no, This is what you choose. This is what you got to deal with. That's your test. What are you going to do? Are you going to keep allowing things to happen and then that's what you're going to expect? Or you're going to wait and have somebody to fix it for you? You got to grow up. We got to grow up. We have to look at lessons and figure out what it is we need to do in life. That song was really deep. Like it's really deep. But we really have to figure things out. We really self-intelligence. SI is the ultimate understanding of who you are and where you're trying to be and where you're trying to go. Because I look at too, like I only have so many summers left on this earth in this flesh. So I'm going to choose me. I'm going to choose me. And by me choosing me and betting on me, in turn, that's going to trickle down to my children, to my family, to my loved ones, to my spouse, if I have one. But that's always how I looked at things. But everybody don't look at things like that. People think of me being, a person doing for themselves is being selfish. No. Not all times, in all situations. Yet, if you don't know yourself, yes, you're gonna look at that as being selfish. Or if you don't understand selfishness, then that's what you're gonna look at. If you don't understand self-intelligence, then you're gonna see it that way. Or you don't really look at people's reality and see how they are, then you're gonna look at it that way. We're so distracted in things that we don't really look at it in the right way, in the right sense. But we gotta do better. You got people that want to do better. You got men and women that want to do better. I was talking to a friend and she was asking, like, what's wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? And I give truth. I give truth. Time and space and self, but I enjoy the question because that's how you figure it out. It's by asking questions and getting them and seeing what's right and seeing what's wrong. Some people are a lot more pushier than others. And a lot of that is because they don't know the self-intelligence. They're lonely. People all yearn for something. We all yearn for something. A feeling. Love, respect, money, freedom. We all yearn for something. Figure that yearning desire inside you out. Figure that out. What is it? And then go from there. That's self-intelligence. Talk to God. Talk to AI. Talk to yourself. Talk to friends. Read a book. Something. Ask those questions. Dissect yourself, your inside. And I've been interviewing people the last couple of days because we're hiring, and in the industry, in all industries, just understanding what you need and what you're looking for in a position in life, that you have to align yourself with what you really want, what you really need. And most of the time, people want money. They don't care what the job is about. They just want money. They just need money. They just need money. And I look back and I had questioned myself a little bit because, of course, I'm on salary and I drove trucks. And then I had a position before I got this job that I could work over and make more money. And sometimes I look back at it like, man, did I make the right decision? Because I need the money. I need more money. I need that opportunity to make more money. But then I looked at the benefits of me doing what I'm doing now. It's growing me. It's building my confidence. I'm actually hiring people, interviewing people to get hired on. That takes a whole nother, and managing people. Like that takes a whole nother, it builds confidence through all this storm. It's crazy. Dude said through all the storm, I done got used to the thunder. I'm used to the thunder. I'm used to the lightning. I'm used to that. Because I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I can't let certain things affect my life because I see the growth that I'm having. I see it. I feel it. Within, I feel it. I feel that growth. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was driving truck because I would just been driving truck. I would just been in the truck by myself. It feels like I have my own business again. And I know universe, God is preparing me for something much bigger. So that's why I don't judge. You can tell me anything. It's about energy. It's about effort. And if I see that energy and I feel that energy and I see that effort, then that's what's going to make me want to stay. That's going to make me want to do what it is I'm doing. And there's a lot of organized chaos out here in a lot of these companies and a lot of companies, a lot of chaos. It's organized. We have to create our own systems within that. And that's what I've done. That's one of my systems is that's about creating and finding my place where I need to be without being forceful. Like the dude said, the loudest person in the room sometimes is the weakest person in the room. The quietest person in the room is most of the time it's the most powerful one in the room. And it ain't in the sense of money. It ain't in the sense of, it's in the sense of energy. It's in the sense of, man, that man gonna run through walls for somebody or himself or do what it is that he needs to do. And that's how I had another dream and it was about sports. And so I had it analyzed, and she said that me playing sports was my outlet because I was so quiet into myself that I had to have that energy go somewhere. So it came out in my sports. It came out in baseball. It came out in football. It came out in basketball. Because that was my only time that I can really let go. But then there was that coaches getting on to me about stuff. So it was like, then that muffled me down a little bit because I didn't want to mess up because I didn't think I was going to be in the game no more. So I wasn't able to play like I wanted to play to my full potential. And I'm not going to do that with my life, my adult life, no more. I'm not going to do that no more. But that's part of my growth and part of the things that I got going on. And if I don't feel the energy is worth it, I'm not going to do it. I'm not. If I'm not gaining anything, and I'm not trying to sound like I'm being selfish, but if I'm not gaining anything, and that's knowledge, respect, understanding, love, money, and it's not doing nothing for me. My homeboy texted me the other day. I didn't even know who was in the championship NBA finals this year. I had no idea. And he was like, "Where you been?" And it's funny. I said, because it was raining outside. And I said, standing in the rain. Like, where you been this whole time? Standing in the rain. Standing in the storm. Damn, I didn't even realize I said that. How now that makes sense. Because that's where I've been. I've been in a storm. It don't affect me. That whoever going to the championship and the games, it affect me. It's not in a bad way. It's just I got children. I got a roof over my head I need to keep. I got responsibility as a man, and life is not gonna life is not done testing me. It's not. And they say, well, more money, more problems. No, more money, more knowledge. The more money I get, the more knowledge I'm gonna have, because I know how to move. I know how to move through stuff. I'm gonna know how to move in a sense, in a way to where I'm able to grow. And the guy, I'm gonna be here in my work by myself this week, next 2 weeks. As the guy's taking a vacation. So I gotta put this together. I'm gonna be the in charge. And I've only been here less than a month. About a month. They say either shit or get out the pot. But this is going to be what pushes me to get to another point in my life, to where when it's time for me to create and do the things that I want to do with myself, that I'll be able to. Because I got the knowledge, I got the understanding, I got the lessons. I got it. It's here. I'm early. I'm super early. So we have to continue to grow. We have to continue to move forward on life. And sometimes it is hard. Yeah, we need breaks. You need breaks. That's what vacations are for. That's what meditation and whatever worship you do, that's what that's for. Take a break from it a little bit. Oh, excuse me. You got to. There's nothing wrong with taking a break, but the test is not going to stop. Life is not going to stop. We got to keep pushing. This song is deep, man. I mean, it hits me so hard. And it gives me energy. It gives me want to keep pushing, to keep wanting to go and keep wanting to do. And every time I think about that, oh shoot, I look at my children. I'm running over. I think about my children at my age, what they're going through at my age. Like, man, I don't want them to go through what I'm going through. I don't want them to go through. I want them to know self. I want them to have self-intelligence, have enough understanding of themselves to know and not let no one force them into something that they don't have, they can't be themselves, or they're not themselves within. But anyway, it's just, no, man, we got one life here in this flesh. Change it for the better. Those tests are tests. And yeah, they hard. It's hard. It's hard, believe you me. My mind don't stop. That's why I do what I do. Going to the gym and finding mental health, and I got to a point where I'm at home. I want to be home. That peace, that true peace. It gives me time to reflect because I've been distracted for so many years, really not able to learn the way I needed to learn, but I did. And when I look back at those lessons, look back at those tests, like, dang, what did I get out of that? This is what I got out of that. And I can tell I'm moving different because of the things that's going on. I am, to a certain point, I'm numb to it. I'm used to it. Now it's figuring out what to do and how to do it. And I got ideas, you know, I know how to create. I want to create. I want to trade. I want to build. I enjoy being free and home and aware and healthy. So that's what I'm aligning myself with. And if it doesn't swing that way, deuces. Oh no, this was kind of a me really filling things out. Getting that energy. And that's what I understand a lot more of now is energy. And like I said before, I'm exhausted. Yet I still gotta keep pushing through this exhaustion. This decades of pushing and pushing and pushing. I gotta find that sense of comfort and keep pushing till I get where I want to be. And it's coming. Believe you me. This is Mr. Anderson, and I approve this message.